Hey everybody, welcome to Italy for the Monster Energy MXGP of Italy. Here we are back at Maggiora for the first time since the Motocross of Nations was held here back in 2016. And just walking around the place, you've got to say it's an absolutely fantastic venue, and we're all glad and excited to be here. On our studio show today, here on MXGP-TV, my first guest is in. He's going to be a co-presenter on this one as well, Jason Thomas from Fly Racing, and good to have him in here from the other side of the pond. But we've got Maxime Renaux and Romain Febvre coming in as well, so we'll be talking to those two in just, well, a few minutes' time, I guess. But let's crack on with the show. Jason Thomas, great to see you. First of all, how was the trip, and how good is it to be back somewhere else other than America?
Yeah, of course, it's great to be back in Europe. Too many Zoom calls in the last 12 months. So, yeah, great weather, great track. Of course, iconic Maggiora. So, very, very excited to be back.
And obviously, you know, from a racing aspect, what have you made of the first two rounds so far? We had the first one at Orléans and then Matterley Basin 1 weekend ago. Are you impressed with the racing in general that you've seen so far?
Yeah, and I think the depth has really surprised me. You know, the MX2 class, we have a lot of storylines there, but the depth of the MXGP class is impressive. You know, every time the gate drops, don't really know if we're going to have Tim Geiser with continuation or Jeffrey Hurling's going to win, Tony Cairoli at Matterley Basin. So I think the uncertainty of who's going to win has been my favorite part so far.
And obviously, I know from, you know, talking off air, there's been a couple talking points for us. I guess one of them, Antonio Cairoli. How impressive has he been so far? 36 years old. You know, Russia was good, and also Matterley. You know, what have you made on his performance and his start to the year? Resurgence, I think, is the word you'd use. Yeah,
it's been pretty unbelievable. You know, I think a big part of it is health. You know, I don't think we've seen him this healthy in a couple of years now. And we go back to the form he was on in Trentino when he and Tim Geiser were battling 2 years ago. I think that's where he's back to. And I was surprised by it. I didn't see this coming. You know, as you get older, the injuries become tougher to surpass, and the pace continues to get faster. But he looks ready to battle for this championship again. And I think the best series is a series where Tony Cairoli is in the middle of it.
And we're watching him here. This was his race win at Matterley a week ago. Took everybody by surprise. The way that he went out and dominated it, had fun towards the end of the race, you know, showing his respect and love, I guess, appreciation for the British fans. A few little turn-down Tuesdays on the final lap there. But, I mean, it was just so convincing, wasn't it? And I guess, did we kind of expect it after what we'd seen in at the first round? Because he was unlucky to go out in the second race when he did. And he should have been on the podium in Russia. But obviously to bounce back with a race win, and so emphatically as well.
But that was Renaissance Tony.
Yeah.
You know, if this was 6-7 years ago, no problem. That's what we expect. But after the last couple of years, I really think that we're seeing him back in his prime form again. And it was, for me, really unexpected. I know he's been training. I know he's been getting healthier. But to do that to this field, Geiser, Hurlings, you go down the list, that's something we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, there was a stat I pulled out in commentary at the opening round. The first four guys had 18 World Championships between them. You know, that's how stacked it is, you know. And obviously you're talking Tony, Tim, Roman, and Jeffrey. But what about Tim Geiser? Obviously, he enters this season as the defending champion, got off to a fantastic start at Orléans. And, you know, from that perspective, you kind of go, okay, done deal, because that was so convincing. But were you impressed more with what he did at Matterley a week ago? And here's a part of that battle with Romain Febvre in the second race.
Yeah, the first moto, I was a little unsure if, you know, he was just kind of feeling things out, if there was something going on with the bike settings. But then the second moto was right back to the form he showed in Orléans. So I think it'll be curious to see this weekend if we see more of the dominant Tim Geiser that we've seen 3 out of 4 motos, or if, yeah, a great rider, top 5 guy, but maybe still searching for some settings. So obviously he's been the story of the MXGP class so far. And I think when he gets out front, these guys are in big trouble so far.
Where do you think the main challenge is going to come from? Surely Romain Febvre, based on this performance and a podium overall in the opening round, surely he has to be one of the main threats. But where are you expecting Tim's toughest challenge to come from?
Well, I'm still kind of waiting on Jeffrey Hurlings. I think he's going to continue to get better, especially as we move into racetracks where I think his skill set comes to the forefront. We get into Oss and Wamel, even Kegums. So I think he will present challenges. I think the key for Jeffrey Hurlings is to minimize the damage now.
Yeah.
We're on the hard pack tracks where I think Tim has a significant advantage. So if he can do that, if he can stay on the podium, maybe steal a moto win, I think as we go down the stretch, I think Jeffrey Hurlings will come back to the forefront.
Well, you mentioned a good point there. The next 4 rounds that so we have a weekend off after this one in Italy, but then we go to Os, sand. We go to Loket, Czech Republic, hard pack, and then the next 2 races, Lommel and Kegums,
Yep.
all sand races, 3 rounds in the sand. But do you think he's underprepared? Do you think he's not 100% fit? Do you think maybe he's riding a little bit on reputation, or have we seen everybody else catch up?
Well, I think you're seeing the remnants of an injury,
Yeah.
a pretty serious injury. So for him, I think if he can find a way to get a moto win, I think it will snap some confidence back into him, and mentally he will get back into the Jeffrey Hurlings mode that we've seen for years now. But I think even for him, he's probably been caught out a little bit by the pace. To see the likes of Tony Cairoli and these guys ride away from him is not something I know that I've ever seen from Jeffrey Hurlings. Typically if Jeffrey Hurlings can see you, you are in big trouble, and he's usually going to pass you. But that hasn't been the case so far through 4 motos. So I'm curious to see if we see more continuation of that, or if you see steady improvements to see him get back to the front.
And obviously, around here, who do you think, if you could pick a winner or the podium here in MXGP this weekend, who would it be? Because obviously, different circuit, might get some rain tomorrow. Not sure how much, but we said that all last weekend in Matterley, it never came. So.
Yeah, I think similar to what we saw last week. I think Tony, being on home soil, he will be very motivated after a win last week to follow that up and win here in Italy. I like Febvre here on the hard pack. He's ridden here well. You go back to Motocross Nations, he rode here very well. And then, how can you not pick Tim Geiser as well? His form has just been phenomenal. So I kind of like the podium we saw last week.
Yeah. And what about MX2? We've got an MX2 guest coming in a moment. Maxime Renaux, he won the GP in Matterley last weekend. Kind of been thrown wide open, really, hasn't it? Obviously, the first round was won by Tom Vial, the defending champion, 2 wins there. Couldn't ride last week because of a hand injury. He will be here this weekend. He'll give it another go if he can. And if he can pick up some points, damage limitation for him. But whilst that's all playing out, it's given everybody else an opportunity. Yeah,
I think the championship went wide open now, right? And riders that were maybe understanding that there was a chance for a podium in the championship, I think they are now thinking I can be MX2 world champion. And that possibility wasn't so realistic before. I think Tom Vial's level was very, very difficult for these guys to match. You insert an injury. You also see the injury of Jago Geerts that he's been suffering through, and it's anybody's series now. So I think the opportunity for whether it's Maxime Renaux or Bois-Remet or Ruben Fernandez, all these guys have to be thinking championship now because, as we know, world championships aren't handed out very often.
Sure. And just really quickly on the MX2 sort of topic, Ruben Fernandez?
Unbelievable performance. I think he's the story of the series so far. He came in with, for me, very little pressure. I don't think anybody was pointing to him and saying, okay, that's our chance for a championship. But we're going into the 3rd round, and he has the red plate for a reason. He's riding incredibly well. And I think if he can continue to establish himself as that rider, things are going to become more and more easy, and he'll gain that confidence.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, we'll discuss more with Maxime and Roman shortly. But 2 red plates now on Hondas, by the way. That's never happened. Not in MXGP and MX2 anyway. But we'll be back in a moment. We'll catch up with Maxime Renaux. But before we do, here's some highlights from MX2 Race 2 at Matterley Basin just 1 weekend ago.
Gate about the drop here at Matterley. A little bit of tussling there with the Kawasaki of Hara. They try to tiptoe around the inside, but it's Langenfelder, possibly Guadagnini, and then Hoffa to the outside. Oh, and Fernandez spins up. You've got to give him credit, haven't you, Matis Bois-Remet, throwing absolutely everything at Hoffa. This time he goes around the outside. Oh, this time gets up the inside of the Austrian, picks him off, gets himself into second. Hoffa will go back around the outside, though. Squirrely coming out of the turn for Bois-Remet. That allows, oh, look at them both throwing everything at each other here. Mistakes all over the place. Well, this is going to play into the hand of Van der Moosdijk, surely. Oh, he quads it up the inside. You don't gain too much, but it was enough to force a move up the inside, top of the hill, Maxime Renaux. But he's going to get squeezed here by Van der Moosdijk, and they come together almost. Good firm riding, that aggressive riding from Maxime Renaux, and he's got Hoffer right there in front of him as well. He might do 2 riders in the space of a lap. Good long jump up the inside. Hoffer knows he's there. Sticks it in the rut perfectly. Scrubs neatly. Is going to be on the inside here. Similar move to Mathis Boisromé. Hoffer getting caught out twice with the same move, this time from another Frenchman. Yeah, Fernandez has found his way past Boisromé. Oh, and Hoffer has found his way past Renaux. But can Renaux respond here? He's going to jump long. Forces him out the way. Wow, how do they both stay up then? Is he going to go for the long? No, he can't. Side by side. And the Frenchman responds. He'll have the line in this next turn. He does respond. Regains that second position. Mattia Guadagnini is going to take the checkered flag. He's going to win the race. His first in MX2. Big whip for the 101. Overall Grand Prix win belongs to Maxime Renaux for the second time in his MX2 career. Mattia Guadagnini on the podium for the first time in MX2. And Ruben Fernandez back-to-back podiums at the first 2 rounds. Ruben Fernandez then takes the lead in the championship. 79 points for him. Renaux and Boisromé.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGP-TV with me, Paul Malin, my co-presenter this weekend, Jason Thomas, and our first proper guest. There's a rider, Monster Energy Yamaha MX2 Factories, Maxime Renaux. Great to see you, Maxime, and obviously we're just touching on some of the highlights from last week. We'll talk about that in a moment, but as a season for you, it's a pretty good start to the season, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty good start for sure. I'm happy to bounce back after Russia because the first race have been really hard to me, really tough. But yeah, we made some improvements on the bike for the starts. We saw my first all shot on the first race, so I was really happy with that. And then, yeah, just a great race, so happy to start the year like that.
What was the problem in Orléans then? Because 6th and a 9th, was it just bad starts? Was it mistakes? Was it crashes on the first lap? You know, what was going on there?
Yeah, there I had really bad starts, first of all. Then made my life harder with a crash in the first lap of the second moto. And then I was also sick. I don't know, I think I ate something bad there or something like this. And I had some belly problems. So yeah, it was just a really tough GP and hard times to get through. But happy to still get some good points, you know. 6 overall was not that bad. And we see, yeah, with a great race in Matuli, now I'm second in the standings. So yeah, it's good.
Jess, I think you're going to come in there and interject, like he more than made up for it that weekend.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice ride, and I was curious to see if your approach, now that Tom Vial is injured, you see the championship is wide open, right? You leave Russia, Tom has a great race, your race was not so good, Tom doesn't race and you win, everything seems like it's possible now. The championship is very wide open. So have you changed anything as far as what you think is possible, or are you just trying to stay the same way?
Yeah, I think I was just trying to stay in my way. Even after Russia, I was not like, championship was still wide open, you know, with 18 GP to go. So yeah, I was just keeping my focus on myself, work on my starts. We saw that it pays off. The team listened to my requests, and no, yeah, for sure. Now with Tom injuries was the moment also to get the points back and get the better place in the championship. And now, yeah, I'm fully in. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next races and trying to get as much point as I can. 2
different races for you last weekend. The first one looked very, very easy in, you know, conditions that were a bit greasy. You took a risk and it paid off. The second one, as we see, you had to dig in deep, make some good passes.
Yeah, actually it was, like I say, it's 2 different sports. When you start first or in the pack, it's one sport is just gestion, you know, of the race and keep that the pace high in the first laps for 20 minutes, and then just go with the seconds you have of advantage. And at the end of the race, actually, I slowed down a little bit, but it was to manage my first place, and all on the off-camber corners and everything. I was really careful to don't throw away the lead, you know. And second race was completely different, like bad start, and I had to really push and made some great pass on the first laps. I think I was from 16, 17 to 9th. And then, yeah, it took my time the first mid-moto because I didn't found some good places to pass. And then the last half of moto, I just, yeah, went for it. So it was really good to get also a different kind of race.
Yeah. Well, apart from changing team in the off-season, obviously you stayed with the brand Yamaha. Have you changed anything else to your program? Like, have you increased the intensity on the training, or have you changed trainer, or are you riding more? What's been the difference?
Yeah, for sure it changed a little bit because now I have a new physical trainer that is Kenny Van Duren. Yeah. He's really taking care of all my physical parts, so on the bicycle, on the gym and everything. I do more gym than before, and riding, I think I ride maybe a little bit less than before. More quality, you know, but less quantity, and I think it's also part of my progression this year. So
yeah, and obviously. We're back here at Maggiora, and a place I know you know very well. Back in 2015, you're riding EMX 125 that day.
Oh, good old time.
Tell me who you're battling with right there.
Yeah, it was just an incredible day. I won the second moto. It was really muddy. I remember they postponed the second moto after the MXGP race, so the track was completely destroyed.
Remember the rider you just passed there?
Yeah, it was Davide Cislaghi, I guess. Yeah.
But you also passed Ruben Fernandez in the race a little earlier on, and obviously you two are now leading the World Championship, first and second.
Yeah.
But good for you to get the red plate back.
Yeah, sure. It was a great moment. I really enjoyed that, and getting the red plate back was, I was so happy because I think it was 3 races remaining, so... Yeah, check that. Wow. Was I think that was my first no-hander on the bike. I was just going with the flow, you know. So
check this. I mean, look how babyface you are.
Yeah. I don't think I changed so much.
No, it's the same motion.
Maybe
a
little bit more in shape, more sharp, but.
But have you been just obviously talking about Ruben Fernandez? Have you been surprised about his form? Because Jason just touched on it. He said he's definitely been surprised by it.
Yeah, actually, I knew he's a rider that can go really fast. You know, I know him for quite a long time now. I was just not, expecting that he could start that good with his weight and the Honda. You know, it's not a bike that you see every time in front. And actually, I'm really surprised. He's doing good starts, good pace. He's a fighter. I know that. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting this year to battle with him because he's a tough customer, so it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
And just really quickly, obviously we are here at Maggiora. We saw 2015, it was wet. If it rains tomorrow, would that bother you? Not really?
Yeah, not really, because I got my race win on the mud in 2015 now. But yeah, I like everything. I mean, sand, mud, hot pack. I feel really, really good on all conditions now. So whatever it is, I'm going to be happy to ride my bike and enjoy.
All right. Well, look, Maxime Renaux, thanks for joining us for now. All the best for this weekend and the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. But our next guest is in, I believe, and that'll be Romain Febvre. We'll talk to him in a moment. But before we do, here's highlights from MXGP Race 2, Matchley Basin, 1 week ago.
Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time today. Febvre's gone around the outside of Prado. Geiser also goes around the outside. So Geiser up into third. Oh, Geiser, back end all over the bank, almost kicked him off the side of the bike. Rain really starting to fall now here at Matterley. And Hurling's joining the party. He's done both the Yamahas. He's now on the back of his teammate. You do not know which way to look. Geiser, neat to the inside of Prado, parks him, he responds immediately, makes the move right back. Geiser try to move up the inside of Prado. This is for second place. Prado running up the inside of Geiser. These two, bar to bar. Oh, he closes down the door. Aggressive riding that from the two-time MX2 world champion. Geiser gets alongside Prado. Will try to control the inside here through this long off-camber turn. 16 on the racetrack. Ahead of all the factory yams and Cairoli and his teammate this time. So not one, but two teammates. Cairoli blasting by and moving up into third place now. Erling's looking to cut to the inside, and he does, and he's going to take the front wheel away from Prado on the way up the hill here. Geiser down the inside with just over a lap to go. Febvre needs to respond, he needs to do it now, and he may do it in the next corner. Both riders checking each other out, wanting to know where each other is. Oh, great move that from Febvre. He's found his way back in. He doesn't want to give up the 25 points and the race win here. He's going to try and close down the door. He does that. This is where he was quick a lap ago. Tim Geiser, and he's just as quick this time around. But this time he has the advantage before he drops downhill. He controls the corner at the bottom of the hill now. Tim Geiser and Romain Febvre in the final corner. It's going to be a big win for Tim Geiser in the race. It's not going to get him the overall Grand Prix victory, but he'll throw a whip nonetheless, because that was a masterclass from Geiser. But Tony Cairoli, another British Grand Prix victory for Tony Cairoli.
Welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGP-TV.com with me, Paul Malin, Jason Thomas and Romain Febvre. Of course, we are at round 3 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the Monster Energy MXGP of Italy here at Maggiora. And Romain Febvre joins us now from Monster Energy Kawasaki Racing Team. Good to see you, Romain. And obviously third place in the championship. How would you evaluate your start to the season so far after those first 2 rounds?
Yeah, good. Good. I'm happy where I am now because I came from far. So yeah, really happy about that. And yeah, I'm taking race by race. Last week was a close finish with almost a moto win, but I'm always there. I show some good speed every time. My fitness is really good at the moment. So yeah, looking for Maggiora.
Well, the championship started in Orléans. You got on the podium there, first time on the podium there for you. How was that weekend?
Yeah, good. Could be a little bit better, but yeah, finished second and 6th with a crash. So I could, like I say always, the first race it's the easiest race to take the right place. So I was close to that, but anyway, third overall it's good. Like I say, I make a mistake, but I could yeah, fight back and finish still on the podium, so that was really good. And last weekend almost, and we'll see this weekend.
So at Orléans, track is slippery, very fast, easy to make a mistake, seems to work well for your style. I was really impressed to see the transition this year. Last year, new team coming back from an injury, and then we haven't seen much. You know, the warm-up races were good, but Orléans, your pace looked really, really good. Did you feel that the track was working for you there, or is it something where you feel like you're going to be good at every track, or is Orléans a little bit special for you?
Yeah, not especially. Yeah, it was a little bit more slippery than Matterley for sure.
Yeah.
It's not the same track at all, but like I say, I'm feeling good at the moment on every kind of circuit. Can be sun, can be hard pack, or really. Like obviously, I expect a lot of, let's say, more rider faster in Matterly because everyone that loved that track, and the condition was just, I think, at its best.
Good, yeah.
So I thought, like I say, like I talked with the team Saturday, I say, I think many riders gonna go fast. It's gonna be a tough one. But once again, we were 3 top riders. So better like this for us.
Yeah, watching this battle with Tony Cairoli here, it's very curious to see Tony make a mistake. Very unlikely for him, and I think that speaks to the pace that you were forcing him into. Watching this track, it looked very, very difficult to go fast on. So, yeah, great job for you to be the one that didn't make the mistake there.
Yeah, the track in Russia, it's always tricky, mainly hard and like with a lot of stone, and that year he has a lot of roads also really hard, so he had a lot of crashes. So it's why I was taking care. I was not making mistake. Just the one behind Paul, but happy to leave Russia and to be on the podium.
Last weekend, Matterly Basin in England, we saw it in the highlights there, but maybe you can just talk about it a little bit. That second race battle with Tim, was that a good race for you mentally? Because obviously I know in some of the interviews after the races you've talked about you're happy with your fitness, you're happy with the speed. You showed it here. I'm feeling good. He's the world champion. What I can say more? He's the man to beat. He showed us he was ready also in Russia and also in Matterly. I did my best, but he was some parts he was faster than me, and I could fight back some place, but like where he passed me the last time, the last lap, I could not fight back. So nothing to say. He was the best. But what actually impressed me was the fact that you showed that fight. Me and Jason were talking about it before we came on air. You seem to have found that energy, that form from 2015 where you won the World Championship. You know, that Romain Febvre seems to be back in terms of like you're confident, you're fit, you believe in yourself. Would you say that's true?
It's always difficult to say that, but like one thing's for sure, it's for many years I was struggling with my arms, like to get hard pump every time. Many GP, even if I was winning the motos or something, I was struggling with that, and now we find a solution. So it's why now I think I can fight with at my best level on every kind of circuit, and it's why I fight back. But he was better than me still.
So thoughts on Majora, track you like? Obviously, winning Motocross of Nations here in 2016 has to bring back some great memories for you.
It's really, I love that place, that circuit. It's hilly, jump like everywhere. It's really nice. Hopefully it will not rain too much tomorrow, but anyway, it's how it is. But good. I won also GPs here and the nation. So really looking forward for tomorrow.
And that GP win in 15 was also in the mud.
But even if it's like raining a lot, it's muddy someplace, but it's still hard underneath, so it's gonna ride, I think, pretty good anyway if it's raining. And let's see what I can do.
But it's good to be back here, though, isn't it? You know, everybody that I've spoken to so far, they're just like, wow, this place is impressive. It looks great. What's it like to ride? I've raced it, but in the 90s. What's it like to ride now?
Yeah, it's also one of the best in the calendar here. So really happy to come back here also. And I think for, like you say, for a lot of riders, it's like between natural and modern tracks. So you get some hilly stuff like they didn't touch, I think, from the 90s or something, like start and the first hill, the next downhill, but they still change to our level, let's say, with all the jump on the side and everything. So they do a good job here, so it's nice to be back.
All right, Romain, for now, thanks for your time. But just another quick reminder, as we do have MXGP-TV, it's all on a new platform. Just a quick reminder how you can watch, of course. It's a new era, new everything, new look of MXGP-TV. Really is pretty easy to use as well. So if you don't have it, then obviously you can watch the season package, get a season pass, and you get everything, all MX2, MXGP, all European, studio shows, and of course the Motocross of Nations as well. But we are out of time, but Romain Febvre, thanks for joining us, and of course thanks to Maxime Renaux and Jason Thomas. Jason will be in with me on Sunday with the MX2 and MXGP races. And of course, today we are live at 1:05 local time with the first European Championship race, which happens to be open. We also have the 125s presented by FMF Racing as well. So that's it from us. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the studio show when we are in Holland at the circuit of Os. Enjoy the racing this weekend. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.